Parong is just going to be way more useful than him the later this game goes.
It's gonna be a tough call indeed, but we are on to the rift, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm not completely wrong or fried, this is the semi-final between Kabum Esports and Pain Gaming. We are on to the rift for game 1. It's a full best of 5 here on this lovely, lovely Sunday afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time it is for you, and we gotta worry about that Viego Rise 2v2 turning hell into the rift. So
yeah, the 2v2 is pretty interesting, I would say, and I think they will be fairly critical. Rise a little bit less skirmishing power early on than something like, I would say, a Xin Zhao, but when it comes to these skirmishes, kind of as you alluded to with a Viego, all it takes is a mistake or proper setup, because the second you get a reset, the fight's just over, right? So I would hand it in a perfectly executed 2v2. I would lean in the favor of Karaoke and Dinketo here. I think they can play it out appropriately, but if they make a mistake and Weez gets a reset, they absolutely can win it on the side of Kabum. And again, if this mid jungle is winning for Kabum, this whole top side should just be more and more useful the later this game goes.
but at the same time, we didn't even talk about bot lane so far, right? It's super cookie cutter. It's Jinx versus Aphelios. You are convinced the Jinx is better, which is a very valid opinion from my point of view. But at the same time, the stats just say CBLOL does so much better on Aphelios. So where are we going with this bot lane throughout this game?
Yeah, you know, the stats do very much agree with you, Lethea. I think the members here, all the AD carries of CBLOL, very much have liked this Aphelios part of the matchup quite a bit more this season. As you mentioned, it has been very successful for them due to that comfort. So what I see from this bottom lane is, again, something kind of similar to what we saw with Parong as Weiser, getting that damage down early on. Right, what you're looking for Kabum is just kind of survive these early exchanges. I don't really think there's that much kill pressure going on. There's double cleanse in that lane to make sure the CC doesn't keep these AD carries locked up. So hooks or engages with the Zenith Blade, I feel like will require jungler or mid laner intervention to really get things done. Otherwise, if they're going for 2v2 trades, it'll be bloody and one side will snowball very quickly.
So that is the task to avoid, but Karaoke looking for an early gank here in the middle, and House basically walking into his arms. Wind turns lightning, he can't connect, but House flashes out. Wiz is there to reconnect, a little bit of a counter gank. Flash doesn't quite land the stun, but good attempt here by Kabum to put some pressure back on the enemy team, and with that, the junglers are gonna just bugger off back into their own camps.
Yeah, we were just talking about the 2v2 to start the game. You can see Karaoke, he wants blood. Pain is trying to disrupt the game plan here for Kabum, the scaling. He goes for that level 3 gank. It's very clever timing, but you can see good positioning from House. He respectfully flashes away. It is 2 flashes for 1, so a benefit in summoner spells for Pain Gaming, and something they can definitely look for once again. But with Karaoke flashless, he is vulnerable in a 2v2 as well.
Maybe that is something they can turn into an advantage later on, but of course we just saw House also hovering in the river brush nicely. He wasn't quite sure if he could kind of return to the lane without immediately getting gank by Xin again, so good awareness there, good patience on the rise. One of the traits that is very, very important on pro play is that you're just careful, that you're watching the map and kind of scouting out what's gonna come at you next. So House staying safe, getting all the CS in and everything that he needs, while Karaoke is gonna look for a potential dive in the top lane though, but Wiz mirroring his pathing, walking right into his arms.
This is nicely done by Karaoke. Fortunately for him, there's no camps for him to steal away, but he can just disrupt Wiz. He's going in.
Oh man, that's a tough opponent to fight. Xin is still very, very strong in the 1v1 early on. Wiz has no flash, the stun comes in. It's a first blood, but immediately a kill traded back for Parang. So, hashtag worth most likely for Kabum here, since their top laner now has a dual buff.
Yeah, the dual buff actually a good call out, right? Initially, on initial viewing, this is obviously just worth more gold for Pain, right? You get the first blood onto Karaoke. Both junglers were flashless there. But as you mentioned, the double buffs is actually going to be a huge deal in this top side, because now the pressure that was being exerted by Weiser, there's a couple minutes here. Parong is going to be able to freely farm. He doesn't have to worry about anything, and that is a
gets
big
a freeze.
timer. Yeah, this is a really good situation for Parang in a matchup that we mentioned is brutal for him early on, but gets better with time.
Exactly.
Oh,
Oh no, Parang, overstasis, welcome! That is not something you can allow to happen to yourself. Never mind all we talked just about. Wiser gets it back, gets the double buff for himself, and now we're turning that one into a living nightmare for Parang.
Oh yeah, certainly. That's really bad. You can see he goes back and buys the Ninja Tabbies here. Actually, wondering if we'll see a replay from production because I'm a little confused how that happened. Right, he had control of the wave. TP was used by Wiser, but it seemed like as we flash back to Parang was way overextended. Flash wasn't even expended from Wiser, so I'm really not sure how that went down. But either way, it is so good for Wiser as he takes 6.
I'd expect him to just snuck around the back into the little alcove we have new on the top side there, to just kind of sneak through lane without getting noticed. Parang trying to push out and reset the lane basically before backing, and just got jumped by Wiser. Similar to how House is gonna get jumped here in a second. And Quedo does have the fear, beautiful connection there. That is a clean gank if I've ever seen one.
Pain Gaming playoff buff still looking powerful here as they've opened up a 1k gold lead in the early stages. Flashless still is House. I think he just got it back. The level 6s are in, means he cannot escape whatsoever from the Shadow Surge. Just, okay, hold on, Weez. He should be okay here, but he does have to give up this Gromp if they do want to stick around. You can see both members have a lot of pressure here with the wave pushed in, but they will back off, so we'll be able to get that important camp. Gromp, of course, has the highest EXP of any camp clear, I believe, in the jungle right now, so it'll feel good that he still gets the frog.
It's a big frog. I mean, you can get it some love, right?
It's like that big April Fool's duck, right?
I have not seen that, I'll be very honest with you.
Where is Camcom? Camcom is in chat. That must be the last 2 days here for those of you who've been playing on the Rift with some of the April Fool's changes that Riot made to standard and custom games. It always starts with this giant duck, and Cam is such a big fan of that duck. And that was when it was small, not when it was huge.
Oh, man. Well, big Dugs and big Ws at the moment for Pain in this early game. They're about 1. Let's call this 1.5k gold ahead. That's a solid lead at minute 7. And of course, we are nearing that all-crucial first Herald spawn timer. And if we talk, I mean, I love talking about the LCK, where the first Herald is a massive deal. How do you feel that goes in the CBLOL region? Are they going to put a lot of focus on this? Will this be the snowball point for Pain?
Oh, I definitely think it will be. And if you know, we here at the CBLOL, we all know our memes. Dragons take a backseat in this region. Nobody likes dragons here. This is an anti-dragon league. Very much about that Rift Herald. We've seen a lot of games decided in 4v4, 5v5s around the Rift Herald, and Parang don't get trapped, buddy. He's going in.
He's going in for a fight. Might have bit of more than he can chew. Culling comes in. Good chunk of damage here from Wiser, but they do see the roam coming in from Wiz and Skuro. So, good call to kind of back off and not look for further fights here. But with that, Kabum establishes dominance on the top side of the map. House zoning in as well, so they'll approach the Herald with a good setup, but look at this save in the mid lane. A little bit late to the fight. There comes the engage from damage, but in Dinquedo doesn't have too much on the Vex yet. They get the damage down on Skuro. He's gonna burn to the ground, and Pain Gaming, I didn't expect them to take this, but they do take the fight and the first Herald.
Yeah, very nicely done by Pain. Again, using those better early game options that we mentioned, the better skirmishing. Even without the culling, they are able to get the first kill down onto Skuro with the Shadow Surge and all that engage. They are doing a very nice job of flexing their power in this early game. 2k gold lead with that Rift Herald in the back pocket means this is essentially a 3.5k gold lead if it is used correctly. Could even open up first turret. So they're doing everything you would want them to do with the draft that they picked for themselves so far, Lethe. Again, the big question will come around that mid-game. Kabum, when you look at their comp, they are okay with how this game is going. They're okay with being, 3.5k gold down at the 15 to 20 minute mark. They know that they will be more powerful later on. The question is, can they grin and bear it through this early game that Pain is looking so good in?
You know why Pain doesn't care about the dragon? Or they got the scaling on their side?
Oh, no.
No? Sorry. Okay. Well, either way, we gotta.
This is a very medic vedia situation. I am not going to encourage you right now.
That is just fair. That is just fair. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the power spikes on this Pain Gaming roster, while Karaoke is actually going to start up this first Infernal Dragon. Because Jinx, while Jinx is an incredibly great late game scaling ADC, we always talk about her in regards to early power spikes. That's kind of this 2-item spike for Jinx is one of her most powerful stages throughout the game.
Yeah, very, very true. Jinx really likes to have those 2 items, depending on what you're going, right? If you have a lot of melee tanky members, you can go the Hurricane to get kind of procs onto all of them, really stack up your lethal tempo. You can also go against more assassin-y, kind of, if there's one person in your face, you go the you can go the other route and go single target damage with the why am I blanking on the item name? Help me out here. Green one, Phantom Dancer. We got it. That's a really powerful spike because again, it always comes through the resets as, oh boy, the Sabian Skuro on a ward. And see Spidey senses tingling for Trigo and damage here. They sense that Wheeze might be in the area. Karaoke, meanwhile, on the top side, still holding on to this Rift Herald. Where's he going to put this?
That's a big question, right? Because you kind of wanted to get the Jinx ahead, but it also doesn't hurt to get the Vex ahead, and your Lucian already is winning a lane. You could double down on that one as well, right? But that seems exactly what they're planning on. Parang has a good ward sitting there in the wings, so he gets to spot it and leave the lane. But for now, this top lane turret might become first blooded if Karaoke actually cares about it. They do not. Quite honestly, a little bit confusing to me, because Pain, it seems like they would benefit a lot from putting the pedal to the metal for the next few minutes.
Yeah, so there was a good base timer for Karaoke there. He did actually just pick up Gore Drinker, could have been part of the reason. Also, that Rift Herald was not going to take the whole turret down. Parang has actually done a decent job of keeping his turret relatively healthy despite the early success of Pain. So maybe looking for a bigger play, but as you mentioned, Lethe, it's a little bit of a timing issue. They have less than a quarter of the cooldown left on that Rift Herald, so they're gonna have to slap it down somewhere. And maybe at this point they're looking bot lane where this turret would almost die to that Rift Herald. Probably like a little bit more, a couple more autos would take it down. But so far, I think the greed of Karaoke might just result in them just kind of getting the flat standard amount of gold from turret plates off this Rift. He's got like 30 seconds left max.
This is a tough spot. Like, they could, at best, they can get some turret damage on in with it now. They can't make any plays of it.
Okay, they're just...
And he's actually roaming back to top side, where Weiser already has cleared the wave. So at least they're gonna get the turret plating. Seer might actually be able to put on enough pressure to get the turret first blood on top of it. But of course, Parang, with the Mega Gnar up and ready, he can fight this. He is pushing them out of the way. So turret plating gold is all they get. That's a massive blunder from Pain.
Yeah, I think this is actually just really well played from Kabum, right? What he's looking for, really, hold on, Tasabe's going in.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage from the Aphelios. One of the reasons why you don't mess with this character in a 1v1 early game. Trigo seems to be fine for the moment. Yeah, Rocket's still there, but Skuro is sitting in the wings, and you don't want to mess with a Leona.
No, not just yet. Hold on here, though. Damage. He's in a little bit of trouble.
No. Yep, that's a lot of damage, or at least not gonna be much longer here. At least he goes in with another dredge line, doesn't get out to the blast cone, and is taken out. Second kill for Kabum, and they're slowly but surely starting to mount a defense here.
Yeah, these last couple of minutes have been very, very good for Kabum. We were just going to mention before that play kind of broke it up that they did a really nice job of not really giving Karaoke any good options. Hold on here, House.
Oh, never mind. House is gonna be ganked again. And my god, Karaoke and Dinquedo make that look easy.
Yeah, the power is just so high on their engage, right? Once the Shadow Surge lands, there's really no way out. You're just going to get CC'd into the damage from Karaoke. The flash goes down as well, so House not feeling great. And that win will mean top lane turret. It'll mean invasion of the jungle. Karaoke going to take that away.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough call here. Parang gets taken low and the calling cancelled. Weiser picks up a kill and Quedo collapses in for the second takedown on Wise. Slowly but surely. We were talking about mounting a defense. That seems to be crumbling right away again.
Yep, we definitely cast or curse them in the broader sense of things here, Lethe, because they were doing a nice job of not bleeding out. They were doing a nice job of slowing down Pain, and then, yeah, this last couple of minutes has not been great. House goes down, uses all of his summoners. Then they are trying to defend their camps. Parang wants to get to the Mega. That's what he's communicating. He's saying, if I get Mega, we win this fight. Well, he never even gets there. He just gets burst out. They lose multiple members. I mean, look at the kill score now. Look at the gold lead at this point. 6K at 15 minutes is the lead from Pain Gaming. They'll get the second Rift Herald. They'll get the bot lane turret, and now the map, the gold, the kills, the items, everything is in the favor of Pain Gaming, who have run, outside of maybe that couple of minute kind of slow period, a bit of a blitz in this early game.
Yeah, looks great. 2 items already on that Lucian. 140 CS, Gale Force, and the Essence Reaver completed. Doesn't even have his boots upgraded. Like, who needs them anyway? He is gonna roll the next few fights, and even though the second Cloud Drake gets picked up by Kabum, we're going over to a Hextech Soul, and well, those gates definitely gonna help in the form of mobility, but Karaoke gets a little bit poked in his own jungle. But Kabum isn't gonna get much more out of this, and especially the whole situation doesn't really lend it to them fighting Pain at the moment.
No, really doesn't. You're still waiting for a mythic item on House. You're still waiting for a mythic item on Parang. You really have no business going into any sort of fight at this moment. I mean, like you mentioned, right, it is no mythic to 2 items for Wiser. So really has slammed this matchup as we requested, as we kind of mentioned he needed to do. Really has gotten enough gold. Again, a little bit of help from Karaoke, right? They got that whole turret down. A lot of the plates went over. That's where this big gold lead, this item lead is coming from. But Pain has everything they could want. They're going to use that second rift to great effect. This is the whole outer line of turrets down. 3-0. Karaoke, he's fine.
Wiz coming in to put on a little bit of pressure, but there's a TP play coming for the bot lane. The save needed to cleanse that one in the mid lane. Oh my god, Inquedo going deep. The second Herald not even gonna reach the turret, but Parang with the teleport gonna score himself a takedown, or at least funneling some gold into his ADC's pockets. But you trade a kill on the bot lane with a TP play for a mid lane tier 2, and actually maybe even some damage on the tier 3, but not really the best play that Kabum was hoping for. Pain looking to extend the lead they have.
Oh, they certainly did. They even got the kill onto Howls once again. 1-3-1 on this rise. So it's kill for kill plus tier 2 turret, as we'll see it here, right? Just going in fearlessly. This is how powerful Karaoke is at this point. How's
it's a 2v3
underneath that turret, and it is a 2v3. They're just dominating it. The stopwatch actually saves Skuro's life, but still the pressure is immense. They get that tier 2 turret. They're even on kills despite the TP from Parang. And again, this has completely fallen by the wayside from Kabum. They need miracles now. They need to do anything they can to stop the Baron spawn. Like, will come up in 2 minutes, because this early game has netted Pain every tool and resource they need to win game number 1. 7k gold lead, 4 turrets down, open mid lane. They have full control of this game, and Pain will need every ounce of team fighting and scaling they are known for to claw this back.
Open mid lane? Sounds like solo queue, man. Not gonna lie. But for now, Parang, once again under pressure, gets out with a nice little hop, but you can just see the pain that Pain is putting on the enemy team here. But Skuro connecting with a nice Zenith Blade. They lock him down, and there goes the shutdown the way of the Leona. Unfortunately, not exactly the character you want the gold on, but it is a kill nonetheless. Once again, though, Pain trades that with a quick turret, so you're really trading comeback kills here and there for objective, and that is not going to bode well for Kabum for the next few minutes. Where do they need to make a stand now, DJ?
I mean, Baron. Baron is the only answer to that question at this point. Is, oh boy, off screen.
Oh
King
no!
Kato just goes on a killing spree here, nearing his 2-item mark. 3-0-3 has just dominated this matchup, but he's not taking that one. That'd be a little. Wait!
Never mind that. Inquedo. Yeah.
This man is absolutely popping. I mean, he's got backup. Like, that obviously is never getting a kill, but he just says, I'm going for it anyway. Like, this dude is popping off. 3-0-3 here. We'll finally see the replay. And Oh boy, he's just going to catch him off vision. Here he comes. Shadow Surge into the stun, into the rocket, and yep, easy as you like. Down goes Desave. It really has been the Karaoke and Dinkedo show. Wiser as well, right? This top side that we highlighted needed to get ahead for Pain. Boy, have they ever delivered.
Absolutely did. This Lucian looks absolutely massive, and that is gonna net you so much pressure on the map, so much push power to take down those turrets, those objectives that you need, and shows itself in a very crisp, let's call it 5.5k gold lead. Quick maths, not really my strong suit, but I'm gonna try. And of course, that shows itself on the item side of things as well, right? Triforce for Parang, a little bit of a surprise there on the Gnar, but of course, still almost 2 full items behind his opponent, Wiser, with a halfway completed Infinity Edge, I think this is as well. So this Lucian is gonna get scarier and scarier the longer the game goes on. But I want to talk to you about this jungle matchup, DJ, because Wiz did not get to do anything in the early game, and I want to say this is 100% due to Karaoke just constantly stepping on his toes.
Yeah, he really did, right? We saw him kind of walking into the jungle early on. We saw him pressuring him out, trying to take camps, getting that first blood. And a lot of that is because Karaoke knows he can be aggressive, number one, in the matchup, but number two, because both his solo lanes, or at the very least his top lane, was constantly pushing, constantly there to support him. And as it turned out throughout the game, turned out the mid lane did as well. Dinkedo was there at every point. Wiser, though, he's got support.
Realm Warp doesn't quite catch them, and House, oh, he was trying to go for it in the mid lane at the same time. Dinkedo once again picks off House. It's the save, and finally TP's down to catch House. It's a nightmare for Kabum. Parang gets out with a flash and a blast cone. If he gets out, it's still not done here. Rodrigo gets chased down through the jungle, and they finally converge. Nice Gnar ult here to get the kill on the Jinx, but it's not gonna get them any further. Wiz actually gets out with a Heartbreaker, but overall, Pain bite off a massive chunk once again from Kabum. They take another tier 2 turret on top of that, and for the moment, the playoff buff seems a little bit too strong to handle.
Oh, yeah, it is way too strong to handle. House tries to finally make a play with the Realm Warp, but again, I mean, look at the damage coming out from Dinkedo in the mid lane. That is just a solo kill onto Desave. Skuro just a little bit out of position, and he then TPs in to clean up the rest of the fight, where House, now realizing this is not his house. None of this part of the rift is his house. He's got nowhere to work. They have no turrets. He tries to make this play onto Wiser, but guess what? He's got support because, again, you can't see anything. You don't have any control of this rift. Goes way too far, and Pain just easily cleans them up. Kabum really struggling to find their foothold. The only saving grace for them is that this Baron is still on the rift. If this goes down for Pain, you might as well close the curtains on this game, save a massive misplay from this squad. They are so far in the lead. They still have all of their power. 3 items now on Wiser, and they just need this purple worm to get their siege going to end this game number 1.
Exactly, it's just the Baron buff, the all-deciding Baron, but even though it tends to be a little bit of a coin flip sometimes, you never quite know, especially in CBLOL, you're never sure how a Baron is gonna go until it's dead, and for the moment, it's gonna get started up, they're gonna melt through it like nothing, like a hot knife through butter or snow, whatever you want to compare it with. And Wiz, he's actually getting caught by the Flame Chompers, trying to get into the pit. Damage connects with the dredge line, and the immediate turnaround, the collapse comes in hard as Pain. Pick up the kill on Parang, but at least Kabum managed to stop the Baron.
They do stop the Baron. It is TP and the death of Parang for stopping the Baron, but how long can you actually stop it? I mean, yeah, Pain can just go right back to it if they really want to. So far, it looks like they'll just be happy with the kills. I'm a little surprised they don't pull the trigger here. It's not like there's a lot of frontline for Kabum, but they're going to play this one safe with their massive gold lead. 7K once again in the back pocket. They'll back off and continue to push waves.
Yep. And with all the vision, all the kills and turnaround fights, where does it lead them? Back to Baron. Might just rename him to Thanos or something along the lines. I don't know, man. But for the moment, a little bit of a reset. And quite honestly, I think this is a little bit of a benefit to Kabum, because we need to talk about the scaling again, right? Not about the dragons, of course, for the moment, because we're not even on a soul point yet, but about the scaling on Aphelios in particular, and the tank rise that is assembled for Kabum, because the further they get into the late game, the more items the save gets, the higher the chances they are. I think that Kabum might just turn a fight around and win it.
There is that possibility. It is always there. We talked about the scaling at the beginning of the game, Lethe, but there's still a lot of work to do for Kabum. They just don't have any map presence, and this is clever from Pain, showing 2 members in mid, sending 3 to do the Baron. They definitely have the damage to do so, and I don't think Kabum is going to get anywhere near this. The Pain playoff buff continues as they make another extremely clever call to take down the Baron.
Yep, lovely decision making here. The big purple worm goes down. You get the Baron buff on all 5 members without even as much of a contest attempt from the side of Kabum. And for now, well, you either go cash in on all of those items you can get with those 300 gold per member, or you just push down mid lane, because Parang is putting pressure on your bot lane, and you really don't want to trade an inhibitor turret for nothing. But it looks like it's going to be 2 lanes at once that are being hit here in the base of Kabum. Wiser in the top, the team in the middle. There's nothing you can do to compete there, quite honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Kabum looked like they wanted to try and take the second dragon, but instead their resets are just painfully slow. They're already going to lose 1 inhibitor in the mid lane guaranteed. There's another wave coming in the top lane. That'll be a couple minutes to come, and okay, House is going to take a huge chunk. Oh my god,
look at the culling. Wiser going in for the kill. Picks up the rise for the killing spree. Beautifully done. And just House a little bit too aggressive there. No team there to back him up.
Yeah, House has really struggled in this matchup. He's struggled on the champion. That is second inhibitor going down. The bot wave has already been prepped by Parang. That one was pushed out a long time ago, meaning they're not going to lose 3. Parang, okay, yeah, damage is kind
collapse
of
in on damage. Yep, that might be a nice pick on the Nautilus. It's a 1-member pick, but it is something.
What are you
and at this point,
for?
Kabum.
He's not getting
damage is on a roll here with the dredge line. Yep, Wiser's here. Super Mega Death Rocket comes in for some damage, but now it's a 1v3 for the Lucian. 1 by 1, Pain runs into the trap, 2 down. And this might be a dragon for them on top of the 2 kills and the objective bounty they get from this scaled beast. So suddenly, a little bit of a comeback angle here.
Yeah, the second Drake will go down. You cannot fight Wheeze at this point with multiple body steals in his back pocket. So they do have to back off again, fortunately for Pain. Still 2 dragons away from any sort of dangerous situation. And now there are 2 waves of supers piling into the base of Kabum, but that was definitely a bridge too far from Wiser. He's got 3.5 items, but none of them are defensive items, right? The second that soul goes down, the second you get hooked as Lucian without support, you just die. That's what happens to an AD carry in the top lane. You don't have any support, you will just die no matter how much damage you do. So the first real big mistake we've seen from Wiser this game, it gave over 700 gold, but still, they will need a couple more injections of that kind of gold here on the side of Kabum to have any shot in this game with an open base.
Yeah, but look at the Baron power play. It's minus gold, and there comes Skuro flashing over the wall. They're trying to connect beautiful Solar Flare here on Karaoke. He is all by himself, trying to sacrifice himself as the front line, but it is not gonna stop Kabum. They come in rolling like thunder, pick up 2, and trying to claw this game back into their own lap.
What is happening to Pain in these fights? They're just disengaging. They're completely discordant. Now Rocket gonna try and stop a base. Good flash.
Nice flash.
On a ward. He did need to get out of that one. They've already got Parang in base to deal with the waves. That's just another positive play. And now, look at the goldie. It's only 4K. Now, Lethe, there is that sliver of hope. The one big thing that is still dogging Kabum is that their top and mid lane are just wide open. No turrets, no inhibitors. They still don't have any map agency for the next couple minutes until those respawn.
And I love how much Kabum is taking advantage of Pain's unwillingness to fight. They are behind in gold. They are behind in items. and they just take down member after member. Pain is just standing there and watching their team die. And for now, well, you did have 2 open inhibitors. Those are gonna be back up in the next 2 minutes. The Baron is gonna respawn in a little while, and from there on out, what are you actually gonna do? Like, you're just... Pain literally can't push. Kabum is stalling, and it's all benefiting blue team.
Yeah, so far, Kabum trying to stay alive, hold on. Their timers, like you mentioned, with the inhibitors are pretty well synced up with the Baron. There's a little bit of a window in which Pain can just get onto the Baron, but they might need it for that bottom lane because a lot of the items are online. We've got 3 items now on house. We're still waiting for a third from Perong. We will need that. You can see he's building something armor-based here to try and slow down Weiser and Trigo in this matchup. We nearly have 3 on Wheeze as well. 3 also on Disave. I didn't even mention that. So there's a lot of damage. There's a lot of ability for these scaling members. But again, they still just don't have any agency on the map. They have a lot of vision to work through. They have a lot of pressure on their base at all times. And it still will be a very tall task to get out of their base to try to contest this Baron in 55 seconds.
Yep. But the other problem, of course, is the vision line from Pain. Look at the enemy jungle. It's all a red wards, and that is a massive wall to push through if you have no idea what's going on. It's a tricky situation to get through because you can't just have your support run in there. Skuro is going to die as soon as he face checks something there, and it is a situation where you have to clear out all waves and then push in as a team. And even then, you're running face first into an ambush. That is not what you want to do against a team that is ahead in gold on you.
Yeah, really is not where you want to be going again. You can see Wheeze walking in here and kind of realizing, oh, hey, everything's warded. They can see me. Yeah, he actually has to just dash out of here as he sees them walk up to his ward. That is the trouble here for Kabum. And I don't think they're going to be able to contest this Baron at all. I think they're recognizing, hey, we still have these inhibitors down. We have no way to walk through this vision and be safe. They'll spot it out as it goes down, and they're sprinting to it. This feels like a bridge too far, but they're going to try.
3k HP, Wiz is not gonna be in time. The Realm Mob actually comes in. No one's gonna be ported with that, and Skuro a little bit too far in over his head. Perang gets the jump out, can't quite get caught. But Pain, once again, they don't want to collapse. They got the Baron, they got a kill. They are very happy with just running down mid, taking out... Oh, never mind, Weiser, he wants to go for some damage, and he takes down the Rise. Perang looks for a beautiful Gnar, but it's too little, too late. Wiz in the back of the fight, can't even join up, and suddenly, the beautiful hole, the little statue that Kabum assembled, is gonna crumble under the pressure that Pain is putting on them.
The playoff buff is still alive and strong here, Lethy. What a start for Pain. They pick the early skirmishing. They look to absolutely destroy the top side, and they do it to a T. Couple slip-ups in that mid-game, but they will take down our #1 seed in game #1 of the upper bracket finals here and look to continue their tear through the playoffs.
Yup, not even the Guardian Angel is gonna prevent anything. It's only gonna delay the inevitable. The Nexus explodes. Pain